Welcome back. Now, Namibia has signed a headquarters agreement with a Global Water Partnership Organization to officially establish the organization secretariat here in Windhoek, Namibia. Now, the hosting of a secretariat will strengthen the role of Namibia as a strategic platform for preparation, structuring, and mobilizing of large-scale water and climate resilience. Now, with more on this, what it means to Namibia, as well as globally, I'm joined by Pablo Beresikutua, who is the chair of the Global Water Partnership Steering Committee and is also the Minister of Infrastructure for the city of Buenos Aires in Argentina. Good morning, Mr. Pablo, and thank you so much for making time to speak to us this morning.
Good morning. It is a pleasure for me to be here.
Now, you have been chairing the Global Water Partnership Steering Committee since 2022. Talk to us about the water investment and digital innovation that you have been overseeing.
Well, water is a central issue in the world, as we all know, and it is mobilizing increasingly bigger amounts of investments. And the interesting part of it is that it is not only from the public sector, as it used to be, and from the multilateral banks, but also we are including new players, and some of them are the private sector, new startups, including innovation. So my view as a chair of the Global Water Partnership, and I want to share with all of you the happiness we have with this new agreement with your country, Namibia, where we will be setting up our new headquarters, moving it from Stockholm in Sweden, where we were for more than 25 years, now to Namibia, is that this is a country where we can showcase to the world where the real challenges are and how to cope with them and how to win over these challenges with innovation, with investment, and with human capital.
Indeed. We also understand that the Global Water Partnership Strategy 2020 to 2025 has come to an end. Talk to us about, over the last 5 years, what were some of those achievements that have been attained?
Well, many of them. We have impacted in over 70 countries worldwide. We have mobilized more than $500 million in different projects. And more than that, our key role is that we are improving the governance of water. So we have the capacity to sit around the table, the main stakeholders, and we are a trusted brand, a globally known trusted brand. And we can mobilize the agreement between different stakeholders. So yesterday we were having a dinner with one of your ministers here, very interesting conversation, and they were sharing with us some of your main projects, including the desalination plants. And we believe there is plenty of room to use our own capacities here in Namibia to see how to improve and how to increase the impact of those investments from our experience.
Now, we do understand that in terms of a new strategy that is for 2026 to 2030, you are aiming to influence 15 billion in water infrastructure by 2030. How do you plan on leveraging, against the background, the success that you have made, and also noting that public-private partnership is very, very important to ensuring that there is water for all forever?
Yeah, this is a key part of our let's say, energy right now. We are developing, particularly in Africa, the African Investment Program, and we are also replicating that program worldwide in different regions. And in that program, we have a very ambitious target, as you said before, and for that, we're mobilizing some of the willingness and approval from the head of states. In fact, I am traveling with my team to Addis Ababa this afternoon. We will have a meeting with several presidents and your president there again. And so the way we want to achieve it is, first of all, with the leadership of the countries, the different countries, but then, and more importantly, including innovation in how you mobilize investments. Actually, if you see what is the amount of money that has been mobilized in infrastructure is a significant amount, but in many cases it is not being including all the innovations, including the digital innovations. So our role is to make sure that the money goes to the real projects, but also in all the possibilities that are available to include innovation from local capacities as well. Water is a global issue, but the solution has to have a significant component from the local capacity.
Indeed, so it must be pragmatic.
Very pragmatic. And again, what I want to say to you is that, and also use this opportunity for the people that are watching us, that we are making a bold decision. The bold decision is to go to the Global South. It has been a challenge for us to pick up the right country, and we are very happy to see the commitment of your government in Namibia, and that we will be, and as I said yesterday, we will be setting up the Global Water Association in a country that has the oldest desert in the world. So this is by itself a significant message, and we're looking forward to work together with you to lead in this issue.
Indeed, we welcome you to Namibia, where the desert meets the sea, indeed. Let's talk about this signed agreement that has taken place for Namibia to host the Secretariat of the Global Water Partnership. What does this mean for Namibia? You know, can you elaborate also what it means for that is a global water partnership, and also to a large extent the Global South?
Well, we are in more than 180 countries, and we have more than 2,500 members. So we are talking about one of a really unique global asset. We work very close to the Global Water Commission on the economics of water as well. And what it means is that water is becoming a real issue. And what it means also is that we are telling the world that we need to go to where the issues are really happening, and we need to involve the leadership of those countries and the private sector in the solutions. And one thing that is very important, and I think is part of this meaning, is that we don't have to replicate the approach of the past. We have plenty of opportunities. I'm realizing that these days in Namibia of local human capital, and we need to include that local human capital in our global teams. So an important part of it, an important meaning of it, is that we will be mobilizing some of our resources here. We are opening a main office. Our headquarters are going to be located here. They are from many countries, and we will also be looking for key human capital here around this region to increase our own resources. So the meaning of it is a very broad meaning, but as a whole, we can say in a nutshell that this is a message to the world that water is not only significant, but it is also important, and it is at the top of the list of the view of high leaders of states.
Staying with that, we know that you support the Global Commission on Economics of Water, called to treat water as a common good. I think one of the specific issues that are coming out of here is an issue with regards to reforms in water pricing and transparency, so that we can attract large sector institutional investors. Talk to us about it.
Well, water, as you know, is a challenge because it has to be a universal resource. It is a part of the life, but at the same time, it has an economic value. And that has never been really properly solved in the past. We believe that new approaches, that what we call water positive, may be the way to go forward. So if you allocate resources, let's say, as the way you are doing now with your new desalination plant, then we need to be able to put together the governance of that in a way that we are able to guarantee the water for people, but at the same time put a real value, a real price to the water for the productivity, for the production of the economy. And for that, we need to use the technology, because right now we can measure it, and we can use all kinds of indexes in order to trade water and to be able to put, as I said to you, the real sign and the real incentive for the private sector to invest in it. If you don't give the proper value to water, then there is no interest, there is no initiative from the private sector to invest in it. So we need to develop the proper governance. This is our main focus, so that may happen. And the good news is that technology is allowing that, because we do have the digital technology, the Internet of Things, we can measure things. And the good news is that now the governments are realizing that they need to do that, because if you do that, then you will see that water is again is becoming valuable, and if it becomes a valuable economic asset, there will be investment in it. So this is a whole thing that we are working around, and being here and gathering the resources, not only from Namibia, but also from all the countries that are members of our network, is an opportunity to change the way in the same direction that the Global Economic Commission of Water is willing to do so.
That's willing to do so. Now, we understand that you recently hosted the high-level leaders water dialogue in the context of the G20. Seems to be some of the issues picked up is that bottlenecks that are preventing world leaders from making, water to be a high priority physical issue. What's preventing them from recognizing that this is a top priority?
No, I think we need to reformulate that question. People are realizing, and the leaders are realizing that, but it was tough to implement it. So this is again coming back to what I was saying. I think now we are closing to solving that gap. And solving that gap is water, we all know water is significant. We all know that. But we didn't have the tools, we didn't have the ways and the policies to solve those gaps. And I believe we are now getting to that point because we are having big opportunities in big investments like you are doing in your country, but that is happening in many, many countries. And we have now the governance capacity and the technology. So what we've seen in the G20 is that people realize about the water. We are able to mobilize head of states around this issue. And I want to recognize also your president becoming a global advisor for the Global Water Partnership. This is a big move from Namibia. And I will be meeting her tomorrow in Addis Ababa. And we will be again reviewing some of the actions we want to take together in the next few months. But coming back to the main point is that now we have the tools and we have the willingness and we have the experience to mobilize and to solve the gap. We need to pay attention to the Global Commission of the Economic of Water because what they are telling us is that if you don't give the proper value and the proper price to water, it is impossible then to mobilize the investment from the private sector.
So it's a collective responsibility indeed.
Absolutely.
Now, we know that Namibia faces a critical, chronic and a shortage, especially driven by severe reoccurring droughts, some of the challenges that we're having. With the introduction of the Secretariat moving from Stockholm, coming to Namibia, do we anticipate solutions coming from your office, helping Namibia to address some of the challenges?
Absolutely. We were talking about that yesterday in our dinner with your minister and her team. And we will start to work right away in that. And again, the solutions are becoming possible right now if you are able to say, look, we don't want to replicate the formulas of the past. We need to think ahead. And this is what I'm finding in Namibia, an open mind that is able to consider new solutions. And this is in our DNA. What we do is we listen a lot to the different stakeholders, and this is the reason why we are in over 180 countries in the world, because there is no one solution. The solution is to sit around the table, but with an open mind, and to consider the new tools. Now we do have the new tools. So again, we will be working together in Namibia for sure, and we are again very, very happy to be here. We want to recognize the leadership of your country, and for us as a global institution, it is an honor, I think, to find this partnership, this strategic partnership with you. We're looking forward to do many things together.
Now, as we conclude our conversation this morning, what's next? When can we expect movement of those staff members to be here in Namibia?
In the next few weeks, we are already opening the office here. It will be a big move for us. We will bring people from several countries around the world. And again, this is my first time in Namibia, by the way, and I'm very, very happy with what I see. I see that this is a proper place to be.
Well, Minister, thank you so much for making time to speak.
Thank you for the invitation.
It was a pleasure to host you, and I wish you a safe flight to Addis Ababa.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Now, that was Pablo Berechiota, who is the chair of the Global Water Partnership Committee, as well as Minister of Infrastructure at the city of Buenos Aires in Argentina, speaking to us about the agreement that was signed that will guarantee Namibia to host, that is the Global Water Partnership Organization Secretariat here in Namibia. Stay tuned. When we get to return, we'll continue with more conversations right here on Good Morning Namibia.